Hello and welcome to the Thursday show here on the Frontline Gaming Network. My name is Paul Murphy, your host. I'm joined by Adam Camilleri
Howdy, everybody.
and Dustin Henshaw.
Hello, hello.
This is your weekly Meta Madness. We're going to go down a list of amazing tournaments coming up over the weekend to tell you how to prepare for those, what you're going to see there. We're going to talk about the factions. We're going to do some analysis. It's going to be amazing. I want to point out that we are here on the Frontline Gaming Network, and they have some amazing things for sale, including tickets to their events. Check them out in the show notes. There's hobby classes going up. I tell you, the word from the station identification, the word from our sponsors in the middle of the show, but you're going to see it. Might not be in the exact middle. It's going to be sometime in the show. Is actually going to be talking about some of the great hobby classes you can have coming up at their events. So hold tight with us. We got chat going. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be talking about 3 events from all over the world. Back me up.
Yeah, 2 from North America, 1 from lovely Down Under.
Oh.
First one we're going to be talking about is the Battle Ready Southern Showdown from Valdosta, Georgia. That is south of me, actually, about 2.5 hours. It's the last big city. I say big city. It gets its own sign.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably big city, but it's close to the Florida border in between Georgia and Florida. It's actually Georgia's a really long state, like Florida's a long state. It is an 76-player 5-round event. We're just going to jump right into it. Dustin, what are we going to see there?
We are going to see some Imperial Superfaction of 5 Sisters, 3 Custodes, 1 Astra Militarum, 1 Grey Knight, 7 Imperial Knights. Space Marine Superfaction, there's 6 Dark Angels, 3 Blood Angels, 2 Ultramarines, 1 Salamander, 4 Dark Templar, and a Death Watch. Chaos Superfaction, there's 2 Chaos Space Marines, 5 T-Suns, 3 Renegade Knights. In the Xeno Superfaction, there's 1 Necron, 3 Orcs, 5 Tau. The Hive Mind Superfaction, 7 Tyranids, 1 GSC, and last but not least, in the Eldari Superfaction, there's 6 Harlequins and 9 Asuriani. Meaning the faction podium comes out at Asuriani taking the gold spot at 9, followed closely by Tyranids and Imperial Knights at 7, and then Harlequins and Dark Angels with 6.
I like that mix. Now, do you know if they're using the updates and the balanced data slate and everything that came out today and yesterday?
You got to assume not, right?
You got to assume
those
not.
things come out literally
I'm one of those pull the Band-Aid off kind of folks.
I get that, yeah.
I agree for points. I think the points are out, and if they haven't had a list submission date, prior, you could just say everybody resub. I mean, it's going to make the next part of our show a bit pointless because we've got top players in attendance and stuff. But they could probably adopt the points if they wanted to be savvy. But the Nephilim book isn't officially out until almost day 1 of the tournament's finished. Right? So that's probably a bit too long ago. The balanced data slate I'd be keen to see if anybody picks that up for the weekend.
I'm certainly not encouraging tournament organizers to make a decision that's not right for them or their environment. That's one of the things that I think we believe in. The organizers kind of really had to establish what they want for their event, and also are kind of like the representative of what their local scene is or whatever
scene wants.
Yeah.
This is a good spread, though. This event is actually a very beautiful spread of because there is a bunch of factions that have between the 3 and 6 numbers. Like Orcs are on 3, Blood Angels are on 3. I mean, Black Templars have 4 as well. Custodians on 3. There's actually Sisters on 5. There's a beautiful middle band spread here, and it's not too far off the top. How do we feel about Asuriani? It's kind of We've mostly seen Tau and Tyranids trading places. Why do we think Asuriani might be on the rise here?
They're legitimately, this is the calm before the storm. That number next week is going to be 15. And the chat's already saying that, Adam, you're a trendsetter with those Dark Angels.
That's right.
No. Disagree. No. Yeah. That's only 1 or 2 more than we usually see. It's not a great aberration.
But as far as Asuriani goes, back on the topic is that they are going to explode, and I think that people, when they're figuring out that really do have the tools to compete in any meta whatsoever. It does take some precision. So if I had to guess, there's a little bit of copycat involved. There's a little bit of faction fans involved, and then there's probably a lot of practice involved. So people have finally figured out how to use and manipulate and take advantage of those angles.
because there's a lot of different types of players out there. There might be the people who just are willing to jump in both feet when a new faction comes out that they like. If Asuryani was, there are a fan of them, and like there are others who like to build up their own armies, get their own collections when there's a book that they feel they enjoy as well. So maybe you get that first wave of the hype, and then you get the second wave when the hobby catches up to the hype. So not many people can run out and just grab a 2,000 point army, chuck it on the table, be it by borrowing or crafting or just having it sitting in their back pocket. So you get that second wave, the people who run out, buy it, and then take a couple of months to put it together.
And there's another thing to point out is that we have a big tournament coming up in a few weeks called the ATC over here, the American Team Championship. So there may be some people that are practicing with their factions over the course of the next several weekends. And I think that's going to show a kind of a bit of a spike potentially in some of these. I do legitimately feel, though, that the Asuryani Craft Worlds, everything in that Eldar book is just going to get exponentially more powerful after these changes start getting adopted.
Do you think that actually... It's funny you think there's going to be so many more of them, because I've heard a lot of... I'm going to call it salt from a lot of the Eldari players, Asuryani players, because of the changes that are coming. Not to the mission. The mission pack, that helps them. There's no question about that. That helps them a lot. But the point changes and a few of the tweaks they got in the balanced data slate, they didn't get hit hard, but yeah, they'll feel it. And I know anybody, when they're doing well and their army gets a little bit of a hit, right? You feel it. So you think it's
real talk time.
Real talk time. All right, let's hear it.
The Asuryani are a dying race. They know that
they have been for a
they're
long
on
time.
the brink. They struggle and they're desperately clinging on to everything they have in this reality of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. And so when they look at an 18-point Death Company Marine, it feels like that grasp is shrinking and
I don't know why I
retreating.
Didn't see that coming. I really should have. I thought he was actually going somewhere with it. It was going to be really good, and then Blood Angels.
Yeah. But legitimately though, I think of the three big top three factions in the game prior to this swathe of balancing effects, Tau, Nids, and Asuryani. I still think Asuryani have their top army got hit the least, and that's where I look at this. Like, who's got of their best build? Which one of them is the most intact? 100% the Asuryani one is the most intact. Absolutely. Might not always be Hail of Doom now, but their best units still retain all their viability.
What do you think competes with Hail of Doom for for no fat?
I think
precision?
Ulthway could be on an even footing with Hail of Doom. Hail of Doom might be a little bit above, a little bit below, especially depending on how you prefer to play, what flavor. But the fact is that the two best units for the Hail of Doom build, that being the Dire Avengers, only went up 1 point. Drop of Viper. Points covered, and the fact that Wind Riders didn't get touched at all. Those are the two modus operandi units that make that archetype go.
Unless you're taking scattered lasers with Wind Riders for some reason.
For some reason. Yeah, I don't know why they got hit at all. In fact, I almost think that they just put the 5 points on the wrong.
I think they did. That's what I thought too. When I saw that, there's no way that they meant shrinking.
Second.
What? But the fact is, neither of those got touched. So when you take touched badly. When you take into account the possible 30 points you'll gain on your 3 units of 10 Dire Avengers, which you can just cover by dropping 1 from each squad, and essentially you cover the points are sorted. And then they went up by 5 on each of the Farseers, and then I think that's about it. So your army went up like 40 to 50 points. Like I said, drop a Viper, same list. In fact, because of the changes to some of the fire and fade mechanics, you might want to drop some of your other models, and the fact that the loss of to the last means that you don't have to take 10 Swooping Hawks anymore. That can just be another unit of bikes now. Like you can just go 3 big units of Dire Avengers.
You don't think Swooping Hawks are good? You don't think they're good enough to take?
I don't know if
5 points on the mission.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think when they could always get you 5 points on the mission, that meant that you always wanted to take them. I'm saying now it's a question now. They're not auto take, especially for Hail of Doom. Ulthway and stuff, I still think make an enormously better inroads on some of those units. But for Hail of Doom, you can just go like, well, I don't need to care about holding back and getting my 15 onto the last. I can just add all the gas in, add all the killing power. I can't fire and fade. Oh, I don't need to fire and fade. Or I kill everything.
That's good, and it's also very comforting. So it means I don't have to finish painting those other 10 Superhawks.
Superhawks, yeah. Um, but to some top players in attendance, Seth Piper is ranked number 1 in the southern region of the USA, bringing Black Templars one of the 4 at this one. Single battalion detachment, so this is somewhat of a future-proofed army, and we know the Crusader squads are getting cranked in the new the new mission pack. So starting with a Colexus Assassin, which I think's a great pick in this army. Then he's got a regular.
How brutal is that in a Black Templar army already? That it's difficult to get a psychic, that choice psychic power through, and now there's just this extra.
Even more.
Yeah, because they've got so for people who don't know, they have a psychic power that just makes one of their units act as a Colexus. Can't be the target of spells or abilities or psychic abilities. So bada bing bada boom, you have 2 sources, which I'm a big fan of. And he's taking 2 chaplains. So he's taking a regular chaplain, a Primrose Chappie on black with his Master of Sanctity, and then Hellbrecht as well to make your smaller beat stick units more beat sticky with the +1 strength, because strength 5 is such a breakpoint in the meta at the moment, with orcs being on the rise, a lot of the tougher Necron units probably being seen, in addition to Nids just being like toughness 5, almost base now. 2 units of 5 assault intercessors, 1 unit of 10 Primaris Crusaders, 1 unit of 5 Blade Guard. He's got a Judicia.
I love that
2
5 Blade Guard.
Oh, I do as well. Judicia, 2 Redemptor Dreads, 1 unit of 5 Vanguard Vets, 1 unit of 3 Eradicators, and an Impulsor. You can only assume to either tote around one of the Assault Intercessors or most likely the Blade Guard.
That's the Blade Guard and the Judicar. That's
yeah, for sure. That's the package.
Although they're actually pretty good. If what we've kind of always said, if you can get them right up to that center point, they could kind of act as your fulcrum in the very center of the table.
Yes, exactly right. What I love about the Blade Guard is there's and what I love about Black Templars, I think I can't remember if we said on this show or one of the other shows that Paul and I do, but the Relic Bearer upgrades for Black Templars kind of act like all the relics that you don't get anymore, because you just get to use points to essentially buy relics instead of paying your CP. So you can just kind of have more than others of those spicy tech things. And one of the things you can put on the Blade Guard, because people are like, oh, Blade Guard are crap because they can't get Armor of Contempt. Well, you have a thing you can just buy that says you ignore not only Rend 1, but Rend 2 as well on that Blade Guard champion. And so he can just act like that pseudo extra Armor of Contempt, and they can be even tougher than they would be otherwise.
See, I kind of see the Blade Guard, though. They're almost like ninjas, and I know that's like counterintuitive or whatever, but they basically act like you never get an opportunity to really engage them, and they're the ones that are engaging you.
Yeah, you don't get a chance to hit them before they hit you at least once, right? That's what you mean? Yeah.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
Yeah, and I love them as that like flying company with them and the Vanguard vets. They kind of scoot around, wait for you to overcommit, and then just go make you pay for it. But moving on, the next top one in attendance is
well,
Steve
hang on.
Crawley.
Let me ask one question, because I think that like Dustin is a Tyranid player. I mean, I know that's not your primary.
No, that's serious. I get what you're saying. I'm Forces of the Hive Mind, so
like we have seen like I was gonna say Chadbrick, Hellbrick, like just wreck Tyranids like by himself. Like,
you were right the first time, Paul.
Yeah.
Chadbrick, indeed.
Chadbrick, yep, Chadbrick.
Is like is he priority number 1 if he's on the table?
To kill him?
Yeah.
See, that depends on your list, because if you're overcommitting just to kill him, you're going to lose too much. You're going to lose more committing to kill him than to just kind of wait for him to outposition him, because at some point they're going to have to be aggressive with him, right? If they want to get value out of him. But I think committing into him is not the best idea.
Because like as a Tyranid player, you always have the nuclear option of just onslaught, send in the Reaper of Obliterax, and problem solved. Like on just about damn near any unit, apart from like a super heavy, he'll solve just about any problem for you. One omission from this list that is very interesting and might be future proofing once again. There's no Apothecary. It's actually very interesting. The ubiquitous always take Apothecary. Essentially, the top ranked player in attendance of this event hasn't taken one. So I'm interested to see what is made of that.
It's crazy. Think about this. Some players are making these interesting decisions with like let's look at like Steven's Blood Angel list from a few like tournaments or BAO type had no chaplain in it.
Yeah, no chappie. Which was wild.
That takes, this is why we go down these lists. So we actually look, try to pick apart maybe what the general is thinking, and obviously been very successful. You can tell by the ITC rank of the individual. Obviously making some good plays and good decisions. It's like what can we learn from that?
Hmm. Yeah,
Maybe I don't know
exactly
if we're going to answer that right now, but just
I
like
think that's kind of that's an overall question that nobody can really answer. It's an overtime, and we have to keep asking it because this is why we do this, right? Every Thursday, we got to look over these things because things change, and these are some of the best
right.
players out there, and even some more interesting lists that we see that things that we expect to see, like an apothecary and a Black Templar list. It's not there. A Chappie and a Blood Angels list is not there. Or maybe we'll start. Maybe we'll see. Tyranid list without a tyrant now. It'll be like what the heck? But
Yep.
this is why we do this because I like.
That's why we do it.
I want to know what these guys are thinking too.
So moving on, next top player in attendance is Mr. Stephen Crawley. He's ranked 4th in the USA South region. He's playing High Fleet Leviathan. This is a double patrol that's just been bundled into one stream of consciousness for your viewing ease. 1 unit of 3 Tyrant Guard, 1 unit of 3 Zoanthropes. He's got a Neurothrope and a Flyrant, of course. 10 Gargs, 1 unit of 6 Warriors, a Maliceptor, 2 Harpies still, a Hive Tyrant, Tyrannid Prime, 1 big unit of Tyrannid Warriors, a unit of 3 Zoanthropes to round it out.
Venomthropes?
Yeah, sorry, Venomthropes, apologies. But yeah, dude, imagine how much this list has to change come Monday, right? 2 Flyrants. It's got two patrols, so it's starting at 4 CP if they buy nothing. And they probably buy like 1 or 2. You at least want the Reaper,
You're buying at least 1.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of built into the last options, like the unit of 9 Tyrannid Warriors, the Maliceptor, and then I'm assuming it's either one of the Harpies or it'll be the Flyrant, right?
The Flyrant, the Harpies, I don't think could get more expensive than the Flyrant.
Beautiful. And so, yeah, I mean, you don't have to take the big block of 9 Tyrannid Warriors. That could be 3x3, a 4 and a 5. In addition, that fatty Maliceptor didn't get light touched. Didn't get just a slap on the wrist. It got
50
dealt
more
with.
points or something. It's
50 points.
It's a lot. It's a
50
lot.
points.
Yeah,
Oof.
I still think in some lists they make sense, but the vast majority I don't think make the cut now.
Yeah, 50 points was 20 points too many. Like it's so close to being appropriately costed at that point cost, but just now it's a little too much. But
it's 220 points.
Yeah,
220. That is a lot for something that only psychic phases. How many points is a Flyrant?
Flyrant's 190 base.
Yeah, it's extremely fast, can be made to shoot, can be made to fight, and psychics, That's when it's worth it. When you're paying like over 200 points for something that only does one thing, like it's not like a Maliceptor can slap you in combat into any decent melee unit.
Yeah,
but it's wounds. Yeah.
It does A damage, yeah, it's all right.
No, it does multiple damage. Come on,
it's got 3 attacks. It's got 3 attacks.
But it's 2d3 damage,
doing?
Adam. Come on.
10 Gretchen charge you. What you gonna do, Maliceptor?
Cry.
But yeah, this is a pretty straight up and down Leviathan list if we're being honest with it.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
We'll move on because we have an exciting one. Stephen Toski has bought the baller ass list of the event. He's playing Khorne. He's got a battalion with an auxiliary of demons, and that auxiliary just has Bellicor in it. He's got
of demon.
What the heck?
You say of demon.
It's got a Chaos Lord, an Exalted Champion, Khan the Betrayer, 3 units of 5 Zerkers, 2 Decimator Engine, 2 units of 5 Raptors, 10 Warp Talons, and 2 Rhinos, and just Bellicor for the cherry on top. Hilarious. I love this list. And good on you, Toski. I hope this list is actually sick in like a couple of weeks.
This is somebody that's going to have fun at this event one way or the other. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Stephen.
It's not just a push forward list, though. I mean,
it can be, but it's definitely it's not.
Yeah. How do you guys think the White Dwarf will definitely be in effect here? Does this supercharge this in any way or give it any spicy stuff it didn't have before? I think the Scouting Rhinos would be the only thing that might catch people off guard. Yeah.
Are you sure they're going to have the White Dwarf in effect?
Well, it was supposed to come out at the start of the month. Yeah. That White Dwarf. Oh, 17th? So it came out on the 17th. Apologies, it might not be in effect.
Maybe just getting ready for it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's getting himself well primed. I don't think anyone will besmirch the guy getting the rules.
Nobody's going to walk into the table playing Steve and be like, man, you're such a whack player.
He's cracking open his White Dwarf and you just slap it out of his hand. No, you're not doing that.
I mean, they do get 5 attacks, and then plus the other stuff that they get, so there's a possibility
Yeah,
that they could still do a lot of damage.
it's not nothing for sure. I do love the 2 decimators as well. I think decimators are actually in a pretty good place, especially with armor contempt in
Mhm.
effect. But yeah, that's that event, guys. What do we think's taking it? There is a
This
lot
is
of
tough.
knights, boys. There is
There are
7
a
knight
lot of
players.
nights. I don't know what the terrain is like, though. Do you know what the terrain is like there, Paul? You're
I-
closest to that event.
Valdosta, although it's in the same state, is 7 hours south of me.
So it's basically down the street.
Uh,
You can probably
I mean,
see the train from your window. Come on.
an easy 5 hours. So it's yeah, but you're right. That actually could be a factor here, and with that many nights, that has to be on their mind.
yeah.
Mhm.
This is I mean, I think I'm still gonna Tau cannot be stopped currently, is what we've
Mhm.
seen last couple of weeks. I'm going Tau.
Yep. Beautiful. Dustin, what do you reckon? There's one GSC player, baby.
Yeah, but he didn't show his list, so I don't know if it's a good list or not.
You just gotta
Fair.
feel it. You
I
just
gotta feel it.
Sometimes we've called these
Feel-
blind.
Like the beacon that calls the hive mind forth.
I'm listening. I'm listening to the hive mind right now. Just a second. No, sorry. It's gonna. It's.
You're a brute.
I'm actually for this event, assuming we're not using the new stuff. I'm actually gonna say Harlequins.
Ooh, not bad. Yeah, there is six Harlequin players in attendance. I think that's a good call. I
Oh, we got a shout out for the world
Ooh.
leaders list. More power to him.
It deserves it.
So-
Deserves it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a sisters player, but
Okay.
I want Toski to absolutely annihilate.
Oh yeah, no. I think we all want that. We definitely all want that.
Yeah.
So question for you guys, just to derail a little bit. Chaos have been on the bottom for so long, and we only generally let some factions get away with being on top without salting up horrifically on them. Like Tyranids didn't get a breath because they kind of had Crusher Stampede that was on top for a while. So when
Yep.
they were on top, we were just like nuke them, destroy them.
Yeah.
Only good bug's a dead bug. How long are we willing to let Chaos Space Marines be the best faction in the game if they are?
I think that people have been wanting that for a long time. I think the
Mm.
game is better when there's a good bad guy faction. More fun, I should say. It's more.
Straight up, 3 months, I will not even complain. I'll just be like, I am
Okay.
only happy for Chaos players to be the best army in the game.
I
If
hope
they
some
are.
generals can crack the codes.
I'm okay with. I'd say 3 months is good. I just as long as they don't complain during that 3 months. You have your
Oh,
2
like your
weeks.
Asarani buddies were doing.
Exactly.
So you're saying you're pushing it on them. If they don't complain, we won't. So
Exactly. If you don't
just be
complain,
cool.
we will complain.
Just
Just
everybody be cool.
Everybody
That's-
be cool.
That's too
Everybody
much
be
to ask for,
If
Dustin.
you
That's
complain
way
about
too
2 wounds or
much.
something, you're taking away or giving you 2 wounds, taking away the 3 up, say giving you 5 up instead. That's what's happening.
Nikki D. Williams just pointed out Jack Harpster is in attendance from Art of War playing Blood Angels at this event.
Changing my vote.
Oh, there you go. Well, Paul's changed his vote. There's no.
Well,
There
he
you go.
might not win. It's always hard pressed to hold Jack off a podium. Like it's very hard pressed to hold him
For
off
sure.
a top 3.
I
But yeah,
made
let's
the
jump down.
call for Tau. I do think Tau got it under control right now. But you're right. Comes in depending on terrain though.
What's next event, boys?
This is going to be the Boise Cup in Boise, Idaho. That is in the U.S. It
The
is north of
boys.
here.
chill,
71 players, 5-round event. Looks like some pretty diverse stats here as well.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
pretty healthy.
see. So the Imperial Super Faction there is 1 Sisters, 4 Custodes, 4 Admech. Wow.
Mhm.
2 Grey Knights and 1 Imperial Knight. Then in Space Marine Super Faction, there's 3 Dark Angels, 3 Space Wolves, 2 Blood Angels, 1 Black Templar, 1 Death Watch, and 1 Imperial Fist. Chaos Super Faction, 3 Chaos Space Marines, 5 T-Suns, 2 Death Guard, and 6 Renegade Knights. Xeno Super Faction, there's 2 Necrons, 5 Orcs, and 2 Tau. I like this tournament already.
Man. I couldn't
Hive
believe
Mind
it.
Super Faction, there's 8 Tyranids. I no longer like this tournament. No GSC at all. Altari Super Faction, there's 2 Aldari, 2 Harlequins, and 5 Assyriani, meaning the faction podium is Tyranids topping it off at 8, followed in second by Renegade Knights for the first time in God knows how long.
Yeah.
We have the Assyrian and Orcs at 5, but we have to make sure we give the honorable mention to Admech with 4 right behind them. We're giving what's at the bronze.
I hope one of those AdMech is a 14 Castellan Robot list.
After, I don't know, Mur Is myrrh
Mer.
after bronze? I don't know. I just made it up. I don't even know if myrrh's a
Mer.
mineral. Yeah, frankincense and myrrh. I don't know what it is, but
If we were playing D&D, I think it's Electrum.
there you go.
Oh, okay. There you
Sorted.
go. Electrum. The Electrum
Um,
metal.
but this is another beautiful spread. Second time, 2 events out of 2, we have a Knights army making the podium, which I think is very cool. It's interesting. The Imperium, 7 Imperial Knights at the previous event, 6 Renegade Knights at this event. I
Yeah.
love it. I think it's awesome.
And only one Imperial Knight. So what's with the switch here? Why
Yeah, I don't know.
were there so many Imperial Knights in the last one and just like half Renegade Knights, and then
They
here
got together and they were like, "Look,
Yeah,
we don't want to fight each other. You guys go north, we'll go south. Dominate them both."
definitely a pact that has been made
Yeah,
in a time we don't understand. It's
a dread.
I'm not gonna lie, I would actually love to see some Chaos Knights fail some dread tests for once. That would make me feel a lot better about everything.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want that.
Me
I want
too.
to see
Me too.
Chaos Knights versus Chaos Knights just so they feel what it feels like to fail freaking dread tests. Oh, you
Mhm.
got a 6-inch charge? Guess what? 12-inch now.
Yeah, suck it.
the dread.
Um,
Actually, Chaos Knights are I think going to be good. It's
Mhm.
like really dominant.
I agree.
I don't know if
Jumping
they'll
down to
be
the
that 5th round, the thing when you fight in the 5th round, but they've definitely they battle back to being like that 4th
They
round
are one of
opponent.
the best gatekeeper
Absolutely.
armies right now, I think.
Yeah, they really are. Absolutely terrifying if ill-equipped.
Mhm.
Let's jump down to the top players in attendance. The first of which is Mr. Bren Cromwell. He is playing Necrons, Relentlessly Expansionist, and Eternal Conquerors, a bit of the OG. Now, I want to unpack how good this list is going to be,
Oh yeah, let's
come
do
Monday.
that. Let's do that.
Just starts off with the Silent King, who's the Warlord, who's absolutely so much, so good now. Then he's got a Spearhead with a Plasma Sight, 2 units of 5 Ophidians, and 3x3 Heavy Destroyers. If I was right in believing it was a Ben that was pioneering the Toughness 5 archetype for Necrons some many
Oh,
months
like
ago.
back in the day when we were talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah, I think you're
yeah,
right. I mean, we're
Just
almost a
talking about
year on
randomly.
this
yeah.
show, by the way. So it could
He's
have been a
got then
long time ago.
he's got a Vanguard detachment with another Plasma Sight, and a Plasmancer, 3 units of 5 Scorpec Destroyers, and 1 unit of 5 Race. So that is 6 Alpha units or aggressive units, 3 units of 3 like anti-tank all-rounders in the Heavy Destroyers, and then the Silent King tying it all together. This is a pretty small footprint, but it is explosive.
Yeah,
What
I
do we
just
think,
got a
gents?
comment from Sindri said that's a spicy streamlined list.
Yep.
It's real tight, real
It
tidy.
is really tight.
Um, and everything kills, everything chops, everything's kind of durable as well. And this list might become the bee's knees come Monday, because those Locust Heavy Destroyers all went down 5 points. Silent King went down another
Oh,
20
yeah,
points.
you'll also
Like,
have another unit of something, another unit of 5 race, maybe. Yeah,
yeah, exactly
why
right. You
not?
could just almost pack another unit of 5 in there. In addition to the Silent King just being
Oh my
cranked, he's now
god,
core. Um,
a super
he's
heavy, but basically a super heavy core vehicle
yeah,
that
yeah,
already
prime
that
mark.
gives out busts to everybody, but now gets it himself. Like, oh god, that
Yeah,
Silent King he should be in every neck run list once this
he
starts.
is
He's
cranked.
so good.
He
You
gives you
know
the
the rules riders
CP.
are. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, mate. Finished up.
I said, you know, the rules riders are kicking themselves. Just like we could have just put core and everything, and they wouldn't have complained.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
that's all we had to do.
Do it
Just
for
one
average,
word.
maybe something. Just do it. One word, core, done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a list that translates to Monday very well. Like this makes
Mm.
the transitions extremely well. I'd love to see like a 1 block of 20 warriors in here. Admittedly, they didn't go down in points. I think they could have gone down a point per model, but it's not going to break the bank because like your mono faction bonus is actually good now. Like you get
Mhm.
one all game, and then
Oh,
you
that
just
is
have
so
all the
good.
others on top.
So
So
good.
really good. The Silent King can manipulate those. Gives you the CP to buy a bunch of extra stuff when he's the ward, which he has to be. I think, yeah, absolutely cranked. This list may be. Any other comments, boys? Before I hit the next.
No, I think that's good. Necrons are. We're going to see a bunch of them back on. I love it. I
Oh
do
yeah.
love it that I feel like that what we've seen from the recent updates is going to radically change what we see on the faction rundowns and what have you. They're going to be a slight bit of hobby lag, but what I do feel is like the fact that it exists has given a lot of players a spark, a little bit of hope.
Mm,
Yes.
They can get out there and play what they want to play. You know, I've even seen some Master Militarum list start to get brewed.
yeah.
Mhm.
Curious to see if what happens the next couple of weeks. So if you're just tuning into the show for the first time, we actually do run and do this every single week. We talk about the meta that's coming up over the weekend. We talk about how it evolves, talk about how to play the certain things, talk about how to beat certain things. Like so come on this journey with us if this is your first
Mm.
time. And we have an active chat community, which is happening right now live. So if you are listening to this later on, you'll hear us talking to the chat every now and then, and that's the reason.
Yeah.
Well,
Come in Thursday night, just hop on the chat train.
we are creeping up to that 1 year milestone of episode 52. We are 5 weeks away, and it's only going to get crazier from here. A whole new meta will be broken down and
Mhm.
defined and explained to you week by week
Almost
as it
is
evolves.
like
We
a
should do
birthday
something
gift for
special.
us.
We should do something special for it.
I'll eat cake on
Yeah.
the show.
Well, we'll start there. We'll have cake. We'll get
Okay,
different
all right.
cake, and the Fugo will just us be answering cake related questions.
In our birthday suits.
And our
And then,
birthday suits,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Actual suits, don't
I'm
mean.
half. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm halfway
good
there.
thing you clarified.
Next up is Jordan Gledhill, playing Valorous Heart Sisters. He's got a battalion and a Supreme Command detachment, which of course will be Morven Val. Hospitaller, Canoness, Celestine, and the Gemini, Ethereal Stern, and Kaiganel. So, bunch of characters.
That's a choice
3x5
we have not
battles.
seen.
Yeah, dude. 3x5 Battle Sisters, 10 Sacrosants, 10 unit of 10 and unit of 5 Sacrosants, a Dogmata, 1 unit of 5 Dominions, 1 unit of 6 Xeraphim, 3x5 Retributors, and a single Rhino. So going much more MSU on the Retributors. 3 units is a lot more than we usually see. Usually seeing like 1 unit of 10 or 2 units of 5. 3x5 is quite a bit, meaning that this gent thinks the multi-melters are absolutely necessary. And with the Renegade Knight count, I think it's a good call. What do we make of the Hero Hammer here? That's a lot of characters.
We see this a lot with the Sisters list now, don't we? Like, this is something that a lot of Sisters players have started to do. They've just done the Hero Hammer. Has it them doing well? I haven't actually seen them be played like on stream. I want to watch this be played so I can understand more what the plan is behind it. Because it really
What does
fascinates me. I
Stern
love
do?
it.
Yeah, what does Stern and Kaiganel, like, what do they actually do other than being almost like a little self-contained powerhouse that can rove around and do things, which I'm a big believer in.
Do you know, Adam?
Not
It up right
off the
now.
top of my head.
He's looking. We can see.
I
him
am
looking it up.
literally looking it up.
You'd be able to
'cause it's on
see
the-
it too if you're live
it's-
with us right now.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I know what the combo is. I know what they do. Firstly, it's a bunch of attacks. Ethereal Stern is actually a hell of a beater. Where is it? Quit with Sanctity. Where is that? So Ethereal Stern has 5 attacks at strength 6 -3 2 damage, and you can't take invulns. That's what it is. It's no invuln save weapon.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And each time attacks is made against 1 from the hit. So they're -1 to hit, -1 to wound with 4+ invulnerable saves. They can be put in reinforcement for free without any issues. And each time the Kaigal has to take the wounds before Stern does. And it is fights first. So they have fights first, ignore invulns, 4 up invuln, -1 to hit, -1 to wound, deep strike for free.
And Zealot.
Yeah, dude. They're actually
Zealot.
pretty baller. Yeah.
Okay.
It makes a charge move, was charged to perform heroic intervention, reroll attacks, hit rolls. So
Okay.
They punch out.
I like that.
Yeah, punch out a little baby smite. Whilst a chaos unit has been 6 of this model, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic, and this time a unit fails a morale test, an additional model automatically flees from that unit. That might become relevant soon. I don't know how much morale is going to be a thing for chaos yet, but like Kaikanal and Stern are pretty good.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of already a thing for Chaos Knights. So I mean, it's
it's true.
It's true. Yeah, the -1 to hit, -1 to wound is pretty amazing, actually. Now that I think about it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Thanks for
I'm down.
unpacking that.
I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm down.
a lot of wounds. A total of 11 wounds in that combo. 5 on Kaiganel, 6 on Stern. So they're not easy to chew through. A 4+ invuln with -1 to hit, -1 to wound.
They only count as one character, though, right? Or they count as 2.
No, I think you get like you would for killing Gemini and Celestine. You kill both, you get the points for both.
Talking about for like assassination.
Yeah, they're a unit of characters. Yeah.
Okay.
Moving down, next one is Bob Keeley, the most courageous man at the event. And he's playing
I just
Iron
confirmed
Warriors.
they do both have the character keyword. Sorry to jump back, but they do both.
Oh, sorry. Did I give you guys a chance to unpack that list?
Yeah,
I did.
I think
Yeah.
so.
So Iron Warriors, Bob Keeley, or Kelly. He's got a patrol, Exalted Champion, Master of Possession, Master of Possession, 2 units of 10 cultists, 1 unit of 4 spawn, 3 defilers, 1 unit of 3 obliterators, 2 helldrakes, and a super heavy ox with a brass scorpion. You are
that's
a
why.
lad. You're an
There it is.
absolute lad.
A champion. This is kind of, you look at this as like, what year am I playing in?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hero of the hobby, right there.
This is the crab people rise.
But
All
crab-
the
The
crab
Helldrakes, the Helldrakes can do a lot. I mean, the Helldrakes, they're one of those things that can go and attack. They've got a decent gun on them. I mean, they can get behind enemy lines fairly easily.
Yeah, they're not threatening to a lot of things, but they harass really well, and they'll just frustrate you all over the place. And they're there to go and tag your las cannons, your multi melters, and stop them from getting angles early, right?
Oh, and look, we're actually hearing in the chat this is a beautifully converted army as well,
Oh,
like the
fantastic.
Kit Bash and stuff. So I like seeing that. A lot of love into an army list, and then some interesting choices,
These are the
but
kind of things
choices
you
that
make
might
really
be hard,
pretty.
difficult for armies to deal with. I'm not sure what to make of these 2 masters of possession.
So it's 2 bubbles. I guess he can have a bubble whichever way he wants of the 4-up invuln, I guess, whether he wants to have it on the Scorp or he wants to chuck it elsewhere. I don't know what other powers the Masters of Possession have that benefit this, apart from
Do they have a
Curse
+1 to hit or
Earth.
something?
That's a Disco Lord.
Oh, that's the disco.
Yeah, usually you'd see.
It's been a while since I've seen these on the
Yeah.
table. Okay, give me a break.
Usually I'd see a Disco Lord with this to give it all +1 to hit.
Right.
But yeah, if you were ever going to convert a model, Defiler's top of that list.
Oh, the cool things you can do with Chaos when you convert them, it's almost as good as Orcs. You can make some really cool looking stuff.
But man, like, is there a model that has aged? I have a soft spot in my heart for the Defiler, for how OG and awesome it looks. But sweet dearie me, oh my, does that need an update?
Yeah.
It looks pretty ordinary.
It had rules before it had a model, and
I remember, yeah.
Seeing the cool designs that people had done on their own was really cool. Like there were several of them featured in White Dwarf back in the day. But that little gun, that's the only thing that looks coming off the chest or whatever.
Yeah, it's like this big
compared to what we have now, whatever. But I
Yeah.
do like all the crab claws and everything. That's
I never want the crab claws to go, but I want them to be designed in a more playable manner. The Toxicrane?
oh man, just trying to hug things.
Yeah, exactly. You knock over everyone else's models, you smash in the terrain down, you're just like, you're a menace.
I'm gonna do what you're not supposed to do on the camera, like monster hands. This is what it is.
I love the Toxicrene, but it's impossible to put on the table.
It's Mr. Grabby. He just knocks over all your opponent's shit. Who do we think's winning this one? Because I'm gonna go Renegade Knights because there's so many of them, and I want them to get a big scalp. I want them to crush an event.
I wouldn't disagree with that, but I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go Necrons.
If one of those AdMech lists is heavy Castellans, they've got it in the bag. But other than that, I am also going to go Chaos Knights.
Nice.
Necron's gonna beat that up. Easy peasy.
But we're going to jump to one more tournament, and then after that, we have a kind of a palate cleanser segment we call the Fuego Rapido. It's like just a little moment of zen where you kind of chill out after we talk about all these crunchy stats and tournament figures and facts and all this other kind of stuff. But before that, we're going to take a quick break, get a word from our sponsor, and then we'll be coming back right here.
Hey everybody, we are really excited to announce that we are going to be attending the Las Vegas Open in January 2023, and we're especially excited because it's our first foreign trip as the Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy, and we're going to be there doing some painting seminars, we're going to be judging some painting contests, and we're even going to join in some games too, so we really hope that we see you there.
We are back. You want to register for those things. It's going to be exciting. You want to come to these things. It is also exciting if it's right for you. Get to hang out with cool people. Get to talk about cool stuff. Do cool things. It's going to be amazing. Next tournament we're going to be talking about
himself.
Yeah, we are going almost to the exact other side of the world, like almost to the latitude. The other side of the world. We're going to be talking about the Victorian Team Championship for Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Are Melbourne and Victoria the same place? Is that two different places?
No, Melbourne's the capital city of Victoria. Victoria's the state. Yeah, Melbourne's just so happens to be where I live, gentlemen. What a
really? So are you playing in this?
I am indeed.
I hoped you were going to say yes. If you said no, I was going to be very disappointed.
104 players.
Yeah, 24 teams, a 4. It's a 5-round event. We're going to go down. I have to imagine that there's like exclusions of how many factions can be included per team. That's the way these team tournaments work. And so keep that in mind. 24 teams as we run down the faction totals. And Dustin, would you mind doing that for us?
Absolutely. So again, like Paul said, keeping in mind that none of these can be any more than 24. So it's closer to the 24 they have, more teams took them. So Imperial Superfaction, there's 2 Imperium, 6 Sisters, 6 Custodes, 1 Astra Militarum, 4 Grey Knights, 12 Imperial Knights. Half of the teams have Imperial Knights on them. Space Marine Superfaction, there's 4 Dark Angels. I know who one of them is. 1 Blood Angel, 1 Salamander, 1 White Scar, 1 Iron Hand. So 8 of the teams took Space Marine factions there. The Chaos Superfaction, there's 1 Chaos Soup, 2 Chaos Space Marines, 7 T-Suns, 3 Death Guard, 5 Renegade Knights. Xeno Superfaction, there's 2 Necrons, 3 Orcs, 7 Tau. Hive Mind Superfactions, 12 Tyranids. Half the teams took Tyranids as well. 3 GSC. Yeah, there we go. Eldari Superfaction, there are 5 Eldari, 4 Drukhari, 1 Harlequin, and 8 Assyriani, which means 14 took the Craft World book.
Took the Craft World book. So technically they're number 1, which is an interesting thing. So Eldari could also be Drukhari and Harlequins. I do think that would be quite rare. It could also be Drukhari and Assyriani, which would also be quite rare. It could also be Yunari, which I do believe at least one of them is.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, for those who don't know, the Assyriani and the Eldari book is you can only be used once. You can't take Harlequins and Assyriani. You get one of each of those. So you only get one of those, not each. So yeah, the total of 14 is technically number 1. But what are the top factions?
The top factions are actually Tyranids and Imperial Knights at number 1. Assyriani then technically are going to be in the silver spot with 8, and then Tau and T-Suns tied in third with 6. The T-Suns is actually a very, very good team list. We've talked about this before too, so it's not surprising to see them pretty heavily represented.
I realized I made the wrong number. They're both at 7. I wrote 6, and both those factions are at 7.
I read what's on the prompter, Adam. So I'll read whatever you put on there. Anything you put on there, I just read it, right?
Don't give me such power. Do not. But yeah, this
is a double-edged sword,
boys. 3 events in a row. The 3 biggest events of this weekend, all Imperial Knights on the podium. It's crazy, right?
That's a lot.
Are Imperial Knights objectively stronger than Renegade Knights?
I thought Renegade Knights, but I think the thing is there with the Renegade Knights, I think are a deeper book. So it's going to take a little bit longer to kind of figure them out, if that makes sense. Adam really wants to say something right now. That's why I keep talking, so he can't get a word in edgewise yet.
It's fine.
Go ahead.
So anyway, in Renegade Knights, what are you thinking?
I think Renegade Knights are better, personally.
Yes.
But I think Imperial Knights are a lot easier to play.
That's what I said. Come on.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's why I shut up. I didn't
You think because of the dread
that's
test?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Is do you like the dread and the paths than the
So having so many bonuses that rely on your opponent being in a place rather than you being in a place, you need to use your stuff against them in order to activate it. Whereas all Imperial Knights buffs they just get by existing. Cool. Is the unit alive? It's getting buffs. You know.
Oh, must be honorable this turn.
Yeah, all the Renegade Knights units need to be in positions, need to be influencing the board. You need to be very active with your army, and I think it's just by default a bit of a harder thing to wield all the time, especially into other aggressive armies. Being like, well, I have to actually push on these Blood Angels to do anything. I'm not sure I want to do that, so I'm just playing a worse Knights army than the Imperial Knights who could just have all their buffs sitting in their deployment zone.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And people probably have had Imperial Knights for longer too.
They have definitely existed for a lot longer.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I think they've been functional. Like you could be competitive with them more often than you have been able to be competitive with the Chaos version of it. I mean, that's one opinion, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe they're ready. There's less hobby lag involved.
Exactly right. What I pulled out 2 teams from this event. One of them because they were the last winners of the VTC. It's run for a 1 year already, and this is Team Nerf Queensland. And they come from the state of Queensland, and they won it last year, so they're kind of hanging on everybody by saying, "Hey, we need to be nerfed. We're too strong." and they bringing a 4-pack of Asuryani, Tau, Imperial Knights, and Tyranids, and you'd be hard pressed to find a better configuration of that data slate and mission changes. The archetypes sit as thus: the Asuryani is Hail of Doom, of course, and Masterful Shots, 30 Dire Avengers, 15 Wind Riders, and a Webway Gate. Other than that, there's nothing spicy. The Webway Gate's the only interesting point here. It's pretty what you'd expect.
You say the web way, but that's become almost standard.
It is becoming much more, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. I mean, they don't even use it. It's just like, well, I got my 80 points. I'll throw into this, and
Yeah.
if
Cool.
I need it, I need it. If I don't, whatever. Eat some shurikens.
Exactly right. Then we've got Tau, who are playing custom set, which is play their part and blocking tactics, which I believe is the one that makes the Crisis suits OBSEC and counters 3 models. And he literally is taking 5 units of Crisis plus Long Strike in an auxiliary. Long Strike is so good in this list. This gentleman is paying 2 CP to just bring him along.
Yeah.
And that literally is paying 2 CP just to ham fist Long Strike into this list.
Last hurrah of those CP. That ain't happening.
Yes, it is. It's exactly right. But just shows you how good that model is. And then 5 units of Crisis is just obnoxious. Imperial Knights is up next with Tyrannus, 3 Helverins, 4 Warglaives. I misspelt Helverins because I was half asleep. 4 Warglaives, a Crusader, and a Preceptor. This is actually an interesting take on the list. Usually in the Tyrannus build, you'll see 3 bigs, 4 smalls. This has flipped the script somewhat, and it's gone for 2 bigs, 7 smalls. I'm actually quite a fan. But this Crusader is not going to be as reliable to crank out the mortals as some, but it's still going to be enough to gut check the crap out of people. So I think it still does the job. And then lastly, we have a Tyranids list. This is Behemoth. Which I'm going to actually hand pass to Dustin for a minute and tell me what is
a behemoth? Tell us,
what does
Dustin.
Behemoth do?
Behemoth is reroll charges and +1 to strength in the charge. So that's actually like +1 to strength, and their psychic power is +1 to wound in close combat. They do a lot more damage. And the big thing about Behemoth, which is going to become less of a big thing later on, is because they actually are one of the few fleets that have Lurk as one of their adaptives. So and
biomorphologies.
The biomorphologies, yeah. So they can actually take some really spicy adaptations in there. Like all their monsters can count as OBSEC, OBSEC models. There's a lot of good ones in there. So I really like the Behemoth build.
So the biomorphologies is something that you get to choose. After you know what your opponent is. It's not as a pre-game thing it's not a predetermined thing that you have to do. You get to choose that when you figured out the deployment, the mission, your opponent, or whatever. So it can be very, very powerful.
Yeah, at this tournament, but after this, not anymore.
Nope, that just changed in the data slate, so they have to pick it on their list now, which is a bit rough, I think.
It's a little rough.
I don't like it. That was one of the core facets of the book. It seems a bit rough, but anyway, that archetype is actually 3x10 gargoyles, 3 medium-sized units of warriors, 3x3 zoanthropes, and 2 harpies make up the sum total of the core of it. 3x10 gargoyles. I'm actually a fan.
I like gargoyles a lot.
All right.
I'm surprised we don't see more of them actually, but maybe it's because it's the high fleet people have been choosing or whatever. But gargoyles in the troop slot.
So this 4-pack is, I think, about as good as it gets in the current game, which is one of the reasons I really wanted to highlight them. Apart from them, of course, being the reigning champions. But yeah. The best Asuryani build, the best Tau build, for teams at least, the Crisis Spam, a very strong Tyranid build, and then a gut check Gatekeeper to go up first in the Knights. This is an extremely good lineup 4-pack. But yeah, and I can't really poke any holes in it. I guess the only thing that's kind of substandard is the fact it's not Leviathan, it's Behemoth, and Tyranid is so strong, it doesn't matter. He's just taking the spice because he likes it.
Right now, it really doesn't.
It really doesn't matter.
It's hard to not do well with Tyranids right now. They're very, very strong.
Exactly right. All right, next up is the LFFC. Do you guys want to know what that stands for? I can dodge it because there are some miscreants in Australia who like to name things.
Maybe we should. This is a family show.
It's a family show. All right, we'll dodge it. This has Tyranids, Grey Knights, Asuryani, and Chaos Soup as the 4 lists. The archetype standards thus: we've got a Leviathan build. 1 unit of 30 Hormigans, 2 units of 10 gargoyles, and 3 medium-sized warrior units. So he's maxed out his battalion of troops. He's got 6 troop choices, 3 units of 3 pyrovores, and 3 biovores, and then the rest is just kind of ubiquitous Flyrant, Neurothrope bits and pieces. But man, maxing out, like taking a battalion and then maxing out the troop slots seems like a bold play.
I like the troops though. Something that people don't realize too, that the swarm ability that you can use with the stratagem to respawn in the command phase is a big deal. It's a
So
big
like,
deal.
do you do it at the beginning of the command phase, or like when
I
is it?
believe
Because
it's
can
the
you?
beginning. It's in the command phase because it's your command phase. You determine the order of events that
Order of
things happen.
operations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So
get on an objective and then
that you don't own,
claim
and
it.
suddenly, oh
Yeah.
look, I actually own more than you now.
Yeah. Next up, we have a pretty standard Grey Knights build, like 3 Dread Knights and a Grandmaster Dread Knight and 25 Interceptors. It's pretty much what it says on the box. Praising Brethren is the choice there. Asuriani, we got Webway Warriors and Hail of Doom. And I don't even know what Webway Warriors does. I didn't have time to look it up. But 30 Dire Avengers, 2 units of 8 Swooping Hawks, and a Webway Gate pretty makes up the vast majority of that build.
Mhm.
Someone in the chat tell us what Webway Warriors does for us, because I can't be bothered. And then Chaos Soup. Celeste Demons and Word Bearers. We have seen this list. This is Matt Morrisoli. He's playing his 60 possessed, plus his fiends and supporting characters.
Uh-huh.
So this is an interesting 4-pack, yeah, because you have very aggressive Grey Knights build with the 25 Interceptors. You have a kind of Webway centric, as in medium table ranged Asturiani build. They want to fight in the middle of the table. And then you have kind of a stable Tyrannys build where they kind of do the sit back, play everything. But then you got this ultra aggressive Chaos Soup. And so I'm curious to see how they get wielded. Like Matt Morrisoli, the Chaos player, is one of the best players in Australia. He can kind of almost beat anybody on the right table, right mission. Well, pretty much can and has. But the rest of the team is a very strong team. This is what I think is the strongest team coming from my home state in Victoria. These are 4 very accomplished players. But yeah, I find their build is quite interesting because I don't quite know how they're going to use it. I look at the previous 4-pack and I'm like, well, the Knights go up. They take the light table, and you have to just hope that you go first, and they don't. Otherwise, they're just going to dunk. A good portion of your board is gone. Whereas here, there's a lot more flexibility in what they do. Like the Tyranids could go up and just have a good game into everything. Doesn't matter what you put into them, they can probably have the ability to beat you. Or Matt having that ability as a player to just go up and be like, I don't care who you put in, I'm probably going to stomp them. What do you guys make of the 4-pack?
It's an interesting one too. The Grey Knights are still, they're actually a good teams list too. I've started to see a lot of Grey Knights throw in the Imperial Knights into their list to actually just give it that extra bit of either firepower or close combat, usually firepower.
Usually firepower, yeah.
But I like them. They have really good secondaries.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's every one of these lists, except for the Chaos, has extremely good secondary game, and the Chaos doesn't have awful one, just not as good as the rest.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the 2 I pulled out, and expect both of those teams to do well. Shall we hit the Fugo, boys?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Actually, I like
Do
this.
it.
They're trying to be almost like a little meta. I don't want to say a meta breaker or whatever, but they're definitely making people. They're giving people uncommon choices, and so
Yeah.
they may simply win 1 or 2 of their rounds just on pairings and pairing
Exactly
confusion.
right. Exactly
Which
right.
is
'Cause-
important
Paul.
and very important.
Spot
Getting
on.
off center on the camera. The hell, production? I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
So this is the Fuego Rapido. This is the segment of the show. It has sometimes very little to do with Warhammer 40,000. This is just how we close every show out, giving ourselves a list of topics where we give ourselves 2 minutes to give some pretty hot takes to some questions that are submitted by behind the scenes or listeners of the show or whatever. You could get some questions featured here on the Fuego Rapido if you submit them to us. I don't even know where people submit things to us, but you can hit us up and ask us some things or whatever. Do something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's 2 minutes, and we talk
This
about
is-
some stuff.
The great Paul Murphy is so eloquent.
Each topic.
Beautiful.
Production. I think you can hear production right
You
now.
got me. Okay.
They've hit
Production's
the
gonna ask
timer.
questions.
What Supreme Commander will we see most in Nephilim?
I know what the easier answer is, boys.
I know. Silent King.
Okay.
Dante.
I'm going to say Gazgul.
Really?
I think because Gaz is the only War that benefits both the Speed War and the regular War, and I think you really want both now because and the War is the make or break. When you call the War and how effective you make those 2 turns is make or break for Orcs now. That is literally
okay.
the ride or die. I do think I think Dustin is correct. The most ubiquitous will be the Silent King, but I want to see Gaz everywhere as well.
Oh, so you're saying what you want to see, not what you will see. That's fair. It's okay.
It's my answer.
Well, as we see it, sometimes we only see what we
want.
want to see.
That's
It's
fair.
true. Look at the, look at the blinkers
I'll
on.
say Dante.
I got my gold shades. You know, it's
Yeah, boy. What others? Because I mean, do you reckon Shadow Sun gets seen more or less now? Because she's another one that's been kind of everywhere.
Does she
Also-
replace CP?
Yeah, I gotta say, if you're not thinking about Abaddon, I don't know. I think he's gonna be in every chaos list. Literally every chaos list.
Well, they have to own him first and have
Also-
to paint him. I don't want to see any
I have him.
unpainted Abaddons on the table.
You can you
Also,
can borrow mine, Dustin.
Another one is
Me.
actually, will we see Gilliman? He's 300 points
I think
square
so.
now.
I think if
Yeah.
you're playing Ultramarines, Gilliman's an auto-include now.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're playing Ultras, like, why the hell not? In fact, it might be a reason to step off your Ultramarine
It
successes
is,
if you
yeah,
are,
it actually
in
is.
order to get him in and get full pay for that.
Yeah,
Good
he's-
rolls.
he's
Next
wicked.
topic.
Next topic. I'll reset the timer. Okay, 1 unit to buy and 1 unit to sell for Nephilim. Stonks.
Stonks? What?
Well, I
Just
mean,
Google
obviously, sell those Maleceptors.
Sell those now, yeah.
Stonks.
Yep. And what unit to buy, Paul?
I'm good. So outside of the obvious of Sanguinary Guard, I think you're actually going to get more mileage out of Plague Marines.
Ooh, that's a good call and good call. Not leaning into the trope. Geez, I have actually so many I would want to say. I'm gonna.
He's only got 1 and 2. That's why it's a hot take.
Oh, hand pass it
got
to
one.
Dustin. I got to think for a sec.
I have
put him on the spot, Dustin. Make
Okay,
him
yeah,
answer.
no,
What's-
Adam, you have to
What's
answer.
the buy? What's the one buy?
Say Black Knights
See,
just for fun.
Everyone's kind of already bought him, but I was gonna say Catan would be my hot go buy because I think Transcendent Catan are worth seeing play, and I want to see him on the table. Maybe not
What's
the
the
named
s-
ones.
What's the sell?
The sell is all your DDAs. Doesn't matter. There's no buff in the world that's going to make those playable until they get a new data sheet. Core don't matter. Don't touch the sides. Speaking exclusively for Necrons right now. You know.
I guess so.
All right, Dustin, what you got?
See, for me, I buy the Silent King because I have a Necron army, but I don't have the Silent King yet because I'm like, I'm not really playing it because I don't play Necrons. I play GSC, but I like collecting them. And now this happened. I'm like, no, well, now if I ever play Necrons, I have to have a Silent King. Like I have to.
Yep.
So that's definitely the buy.
Ooh, I have another one. I've
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh, we got to
Yeah.
get a sell. We got to get Dustin sell.
Oh, sorry. Go.
Riptides.
Was that
Riptides.
Riptides? All right,
Aw.
there we go. Adam,
Yeah.
11 seconds.
My sell is Crisis Suits. My buy is crap. Damn it, I've forgotten it now.
Death
Oh, no.
Company. He meant to say Death Company, and we're out of
Yeah,
time.
sure. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
It was Assault Marines. Sorry.
Nope. No,
No, can't.
Those are
Never
good
go
choices.
back.
Never mind.
yep.
All right.
Retract.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Best
Redacted.
unit choice to generate additional CP in Nephilim.
Okay. Tallyman?
Well,
Tallyman's strong
there's better
because
odds
it's
to get.
every time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I
two
can't-
chances a turn, yeah?
I can't say more than best. Some of them let you start the game with 2 command points or
Mhm.
extra command points.
I could tell. I know for sure the answer to this one. Well, for me anyway, because the Ethereal
Yeah.
just gives you one on
You
2
just
plus
soak
every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ethereal's kind of crazy. Is it the Nexos that gives you one for GSC?
Yeah, Nexos 5 up whenever you use a strat. Like,
Yeah,
sorry, when I
it's-
say you, I mean me. Like whenever I use a strat.
So
The best choice, I think, is Imperial Knights, just picking the one that auto gives you 1 extra at the start of the turn, right? Like you get 2 at the start of your turn instead of 1 if you just pick that oath.
Oh,
and
that's
then-
even better than Ethereal.
Yeah, you don't have to roll.
You
You don't have
just
to do
get it. You don't
anything.
have to roll.
You just get it. Every start of every turn, you just get 1 extra, and you can still get, like, if you have a way to get ones back, you can still get 1 back every turn. Like, yeah. So I think that might be my pick.
Or, oh, you know what? Grey Knights just in general. Because now they'll be
Yeah,
able to get it
yeah.
with their spell and then get it with Psychic Interrogation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually true.
Huh? Yeah.
What's the way that T-Suns get one reliably as well? They've got is it a Caballer's Ritual, or is it, no, it's a chant. It's a chant from their Infernal Master, where they just like roll a 3+, get a CP.
Oh, is it? For some
this is
reason,
going to be a
I'm
big
so- I'm so-
adjustment coming up for
so
me
yeah.
because I like to burn those command points early and often.
Yep. I've played I've played the first game of Nephilim I played with my GSC, like the standard 3 triple patrol I had. It was awful. Like, well, I can't do anything apparently. I just have nothing to spend.
Someone said biggest sell is mutilators. That would be true but we're talking specifically of Nephilim. Otherwise,
if anyone
100%.
had mutilators to
If
begin
anyone
with,
had them,
I mean-
yeah. If
I
you
mean,
have
put
them,
them in
then maybe.
Put them in the microwave if you want. Like no one's gonna buy it.
No, that'll make them look better.
unfortunately. the selling portion of this isn't going to get fruit for you, unfortunately.
All right. Faction with the biggest lift from the balanced data slate.
Oh, Necrons.
Starts with N, ends with crons.
Necrons.
Put two and two together.
Like
What?
everything that happened in
Okay.
every single one of these updates benefits Necrons.
Paul, you
So-
gotta take a minute 40 and explain another
I-
faction.
I will rebut you on Blood Angels and Sisters if you go either of those ways, Pauls. But you can have your time. You're not
it's
wrong.
Death Guard.
You can have your time,
Yeah.
but Paul,
Imagine
Death Guard.
60 Plague
Coming-
Marines on the table right now.
Paul coming in from left with the banger. That's true.
that's 2 in a row that you've been saying Death Guard. You got to talk about this now, Paul. Come
Well,
on.
Death Guard. I mean, with the way if we are to interpret the points like it says on the sheet or whatever, you only all the upgrades are 0 cost. So like the blight launchers, the plasma guns, that kind of stuff
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
there's no points cost for them currently. And if we were to take that as at face value, that means that the stuff that you wanted to always get on Plague Marines but never did, and so you had to buy kind of a 210 point unit for a 10 man unit of Plague Marines, and then what is like 150 points of war gear or whatever just to make them functional. So it's like if you're playing against Death Guard, you're playing against an army with 2,300 points.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Like the,
I mean,
the chaos version of a war convocation now.
And
I-
I don't know
Bring you back
if
to
load
7th
drones
edition.
went down or not, with the flesh mowers.
They
But if
They
you
probably
got
did.
60, if you got all these Plague Marines going across the table, popping off shots, people with the armor content, people are going to have to engage them, which means you're going to get that sweet heroic intervention strat off more often. And so,
Mic drop.
none can defend.
I will find it hard to split hairs on you, but which one got better out of Necrons and DG? I don't think either are wrong. Great answer.
Really
Cheese
good
circle.
answer. Really good answer.
Mm.
All right. Who would win in a fight? A taco or a grilled cheese?
I know we won't get the context here, but we're talking all like we talking just tacos, or we talking quesadillas, tacos,
Now,
or soft shell, hard shell?
Wait,
Are
it's
they-
not a rules
are they
lawyer though.
fighting?
Taco.
Are they fighting, like actually smashing into each other, or
Yeah.
is it like
Look,
even
which one
I'm
is
just going to
better?
give him a hot take. I don't need any questions. The grilled cheese has more rigidity and
Yeah.
stability, so the grilled
Okay.
cheese will ultimately win against the fight of the taco.
If
It's not a
it's a
question of
fight,
You're a
yeah.
tastiness.
taco guy?
Yeah.
How could you
In a
not be
fist
taco
fight?
guy?
No,
Okay. He's
Like
going
the-
logic. He's going logic.
Just-
Clearly.
weight and density,
Yeah.
like they're in different weight
Yeah.
classes. Is the way I was going with this, because if it was like a fold over quesadilla versus a grilled cheese, that's
Yeah.
like same and same. We could have that's like an equal fight there. Just a loose taco, it's one punch away from its guts falling.
A taco
out, right?
didn't survive the 3 inches from the plate to your face.
Yeah,
No,
exactly
wait,
right.
wait,
Yeah,
wait,
exactly right.
Is this
I-
a soft taco or a hard taco?
So, question for you: have you ever dropped a taco then been able to eat it? Because I've dropped a grilled cheese and been able to eat it.
That's information I did not need to
Yeah.
know. I
mean,
know
you-
something more about Adam now. But
Yeah.
You make a point.
Yeah,
you make a point, yeah. But
that's right.
but if the grilled cheese wins the fight, there's going to be so much taco stuff in it and on it now that it's basically a hybrid
Enhanced.
of grilled cheese.
It's become a
and
taco.
Enhanced.
It has
Yeah.
become a new new breed of taco, and this thing is now even more delicious. So
And
really,
powerful.
in
If this
the
was
fight between grilled cheese and tacos, humans
Only
win.
winners. Yeah.
I-
yeah.
If this
yeah.
was a taquito,
Oh, now we're getting really complicated here. We're not
You
getting
know, rolled-
taquitos, we got like a burrito bowl or something. Like there's so many things.
the
that
burrito
we-
bowl's got no chance.
Nope.
Grilled cheese.
Get
Grilled
this burrito
cheese
bowl outta here.
is
This
is
not
actually in a fight going to win against a lot of my favorite foods.
It's like, do you remember? What was it on Simpsons? You cannot hurt a
Lego?
Twinkie.
Can't hurt a Twinkie. That's right.
Yeah.
No,
fact-
we're breaking the
Cannot
rules.
hurt the
Yeah,
Twinkie.
you're way
We're
off.
running this out.
We're done.
We
I
need
love-
we need a ladder to see what ultimately when grilled cheese gets knocked out of this combat.
I
We
love
need
that
to
you
figure this
spent
out,
more
yeah.
time, by the way, on who would win between a taco and a grilled cheese than any other 40K question.
That was
we
more
had.
arguable than the other ones. The other ones
Yeah.
are just factual. You see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we got to do a better job on the questions. All right, last one. Next Star Wars character to get their own series on Disney Plus.
There's only one
think
that I.
it's
There's
already
only one that I
determined, isn't it?
want.
Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Well,
Who is it?
let's say not the one that's been rumored. Let's say
Mace
next
Windu.
out of
But the
all
one we
characters.
want.
Yes, the one you want.
Mace
Yeah.
Windu.
Okay. Dustin has the best answer.
It's Mace Windu.
Ma-
That's
Mace
what I wanna
Windu?
see.
Mace Windu. Isn't
That's
he
what I want
dead?
to
What?
see.
As in he.
Well, he
as
wasn't
in,
dead before he was dead. We had
Do it.
Obi-Wan's
never
dead
see a
too, but
body.
he's got a series.
Oh, you
Look,
That's true, you
in a
never see a
world
body.
where Mace Windu dies falling out of a building is a world I don't want to live in. And there's a lot. There is a lot wrong with some of the more recent.
He's
and I
still
say
alive
recent
right
in the
now.
last
He's
20
running the taco stand with grilled cheese down the street right now.
There we go. Yeah. Okay.
I have a lot on my wish list.
Okay, well,
Give us your best then.
Name 'em off. We got a minute. Go ahead.
Either
got 1
I
minute.
want the Dark Plagueis story, which gives us the
Rise of
the
Palpatine.
the Palpatine origin story in addition, which would be sick.
Yep.
Either that, or I would like to have the Thrawn, Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
break
You
off.
kind of get that in Rebels.
You do, but I want the Thrawn based storyline
Okay. Oh, from his only from his
from
perspective,
his perspective,
kind of
like
thing. Okay.
him rising into the Empire, the fall of the Empire, and then him trying to bring it back. Yeah, it'd be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, those
Okay.
that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Is there one
There's
that's actually
this is a
rumored?
bunch, and I'm actually glad we're getting this kind of expansion and getting to see that. Like, no spoilers, but I was quite pleased with the Obi-Wan series.
Yes, me too. I just finished it.
And there are some things in there. It's like, well, this is a series, and they're just going to do what they do sometimes. But I really like the direction they were going with that. And you get and like, so my wife asked me, she's like, "What do you think like Obi-Wan's like special Jedi gift is, or whatever?" I said, "He's just a complete truck. He's got it all. That's his gift.
That's
All
his
the
gift.
upgrades,
Yeah, good at
charisma,
everything.
Yep.
Yeah."
Jesus,
That's our
like
show.
looks.
That's our show this week. It's been cool. This is now look. I know that we're in like a time period where people know things are changing, and so probably the advice we gave in this one is probably less relevant than grilled cheese versus a taco.
Yeah.
But it's the journey that we're seeing these players go on. I think is you can take something out of from the choices that they have made, and that's interesting to me.
So for those who do not know, I'm going to do a quick plug at the end before we sign off. There is just a little event going on that's happened 4 times now called Charity Hammer. This weekend, 80 hours of 40k content will be produced for the sake of a charity called Child's Play, which provides amazing gaming aids and entertainment needs for children whilst they're undergoing medical treatment. Every donation you make towards Child's Play through the Charity Hammer website, which is where you should all go after the stream ends to get like just 4 straight days of entertainment following this. One of those will be a GT played by the best players in the world, some of the best players in the world, playing the cutting edge new meta, points changes, Nephilim in effect, everything in effect, data slate in effect, will all be in effect for that GT, which starts first thing tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So if you want to know what's on the cutting edge and what the best players in the world think is where the best place to start with this stuff, jump on, support Charity Hammer. Every $30 gets you a raffle ticket into the ongoing raffle. So $30 is one, 60 is another. You can donate $39 and then donate $21. You'll still get to the next ticket, and some incredible prizes. The 2 keynote prizes. First one is a $1,200 voucher to Hammerhead Games, which you can use on anything. You can use on D&D, you can use on Magic, you can use on 40k, AOS, whatever you want. And the next one is a commission painted army by Sean Naden. Like, you just send Sean the models and he's going to paint you your army. Do you know how rare that will be to have on your shelf? Like, the
He's a
perpetual
great player and great painter, so that is something to.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the perpetual Ren Man and of the LVO painting you an army, possibly a GOAT contender for one of the greatest 40k players of all time.
We did get a
painting you
question.
an army.
Time zone, Easter, like 9 a.m. What time zone?
Pacific Standard.
Standard.
Yeah, Dustin's going to be doing some commentary. I'm going to be going there straight from here. I was commentating there for 9 hours before I came here. So if you want some more Adam in your day, if you haven't had enough, please jump over and join me there.
Oh, seriously, I encourage y'all to do that as well. It's been great talking to y'all. The chat has been absolutely awesome. Thanks a lot for everybody participating and saying what's up to us and just hanging out over the course of this hour. We really appreciate it. We will be back each and every week. We'll see y'all soon.
See you next week.
See yous.